You're listening to the Soju Sessions, episode 67 on the Soju Talk Nation podcast feed. I'm your host, Crispy, also known as Crispy Wonton or simply just Anton. And joining me today on this kind of incredible day of news, my dear friend, someone who I go on K-Pop Adventures with, and a huge BTS fan, a huge ARMY for quite some time. The one and only Tiffy is here for the intro. Hi, Tiffy.
Hello, everyone.
So we recorded our BTS Proof album discussion on Monday, June 13th. And then today, on June 14th, the news dropped that during BTS's Festa, so their celebration of their anniversary, they will be going on hiatus. That was the word that was in the video. But to clarify, a spokesperson informed Rolling Stones that the group is still together. They are just going to be doing solo projects and kind of doing things not officially as a group for some time. And it hit everyone like a ton of bricks. So we're recording this intro just to get Tiffy's reaction, just as a longtime ARMY. Tiffy, how are you emotionally getting this news today?
No, since it's been like almost 10-12 hours since it's passed. I'm a little more calm about it, but definitely waking up to the news and watching it before work was not a good idea because I was like, oh, it's gonna be lighthearted. It's just like the regular Festa dinners and everything. And then they start crying and I start crying and I was like, what do I do? But if to be completely honest, to say that I'm not shocked would be a lie. But I also understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, let's kind of break it down a little bit. So in the Rolling Stones article by John Bliston, he details kind of some of the quotes that came out of the announcement. So RM specifically talked a lot about rediscovery and kind of needing to take the time to find out what music means to him again. So some of the quotes were that he acknowledged that the group has changed over time and didn't know what kind of group they were anymore. So it sounds very dramatic, but in the moment, I think it's really just self-reflection on what they want to do moving forward. RM would go on to talk about his songwriting process and the lyrics. One thing kind of spoke to me that was really meaningful was it's really important what kind of story and message I want to give out. But it was like that was gone now. I don't know what kind of story I should tell now. So storytelling is such a big part of BTS. RM encapsulated it here. How do you feel about RM's comments about storytelling and kind of rediscovering what the BTS story is moving forward?
I can see where they're coming from. Even Suga said it himself that he doesn't really know what to say. Like he just doesn't have a message to give out, and it wasn't really quite sure. And I think any fans, any ARMY would kind of know them for their lyrics. They're very incredibly talented, and a lot of their lyrics have a play on words, have a really strong message to the fans, and so on and forth. So for them to be stuck on a message, I feel like is really telling on why they're choosing to do this break. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to make that distinction, right? This is just a break from group proper activities, right? I think they would continue on and say the group will remain active in various formats, meaning they're all going to be doing stuff still. It's just not going to be officially as the seven of them on stage doing a tour or shows, right? We do know that J-Hope will be headlining Lollapalooza, so he is kind of the first in line for kind of these solo projects. How do you feel about now a time that it's going to be very specifically about solo projects for BTS, and that J-Hope is the first one out of the gate? Like, how does that kind of hit you?
I feel like armies are more than ready to support each and every one of them. But it's also like we're nervous in some sense because for our dear lovely merch collectors, now it's just 7 more merch separately now we have to collect. Um, so it's a big, like mixed feelings. I think it's very lighthearted now that like everything has been processed, especially since there has been clarification from Hype itself that it is just a break. They're not disbanding, and they're really trying to focus themselves just on themselves. And to be honest, they have been like giving 9 years to the fans and like haven't like they've sacrificed 9 years for us. So I think they do deserve a break.
Yeah, and it is mentioned that Map of the Soul 7 was going to be kind of that turning of the page for the group. But then the pandemic happened, a lot of things shifted and changed. And then they found something kind of special in Dynamite and kind of exploring that realm of being Western accessible. So I think just the past 2 years have been a whirlwind of things that they had not anticipated. So it does stand to reason that, you know, a break is definitely deserved from them. I mean, they recently just did the Permission to Dance tour for about 8 months, essentially, between LA shows, Korea, Vegas. They went to the White House recently. So they have been busy. So it does make a lot of sense. And again, definitely well deserved that they do step back and kind of reinvigorate themselves with their solo projects and try to find whatever artistic expression that they want to produce moving forward as BTS, coming back whole, and just being stronger together. Any final thoughts you have on this announcement about BTS?
I'm just excited because obviously I think since they've been so busy, I could only imagine how much they've kind of sacrificed of their own personal hobbies and their own personal like taste and interests. So I'm kind of excited to see like what each of them will kind of do. Like there's been rumors that Jin might take up acting again. Um, Tay might also do acting again. There might be a comeback. There's actually going to be a in the soup re-edition with his acting squad, the Wooga squad. So that's also in the works. But overall, just really excited.
This is why I have you on. You have all of the in-depth knowledge of all of these things that I am just like very like unaware of. All I can say is I would like V to do a solo project where he's doing like OSTs that make me cry, that make me feel things. I love the OSTs that he does. I think the song was called Christmas Tree for Our Beloved Summer.
Yes.
Strange title, great song, strange title. But yeah, it's just a lot of things ahead that I'm sure the members can explore during this time of rediscovery. Tiffy, thanks for hopping on this kind of emergency episode to get this intro to address.
Be like the first breaking news of this kind of podcast.
I know, it was kind of incredible. Yeah, no, we do have a full BTS Proof album discussion coming up, so we're just gonna get right into it. Thank you everyone for sticking with us and staying tuned and processing this news together. We are all here together, all to emotionally support each other. So for sure, just we're all here. All right, coming up, my chat with Tiffy on BTS Proof, an album discussion on the SojuSessions. Joining SojuSessions, a famous person, someone who is so well known around a myriad of K-pop circles, an enormous army. You can see in her background right now for all the YouTube viewers, it is decorated with so much K-pop. The one and only Tiffy. Welcome to the show, Tiffy.
Hi everybody. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. You are just one of the many amazing people that I've met over the past few months on the internet and have actually gotten to meet in real life. So you and I are fairly close in proximity. We're maybe 15, 20 minutes away from each other in Northern California. And we hang out Maybe too much? No, not enough, I would say.
Excuse me.
No, but you are a true friend. You've helped and assisted with so many things in K-pop, in the world of K-pop. And a fun fact, you are an enormous ARMY. You're a big BTS fan. So let's start there. Tell everyone about your K-pop origin story and, what's BTS's involvement in this? How did it all begin for you?
Okay, well, BTS wasn't my first K-pop group, ironically enough, but they're definitely my biggest growing forward. So I started listening to K-pop because my cousin introduced me to a lot of SM groups. So specifically Girls' Generation and Super Junior. And it just so happens to like kick off this like small little addiction to me inside me because I would always have like those handphones and you can download songs and I would just listen to them on repeat. So that kind of evolved into watching YouTube videos back in like 2011, 2012. And when BTS debuted in 2013, I had heard a few tracks, but it wasn't until one of their songs, their B-sides, became like my dance audition cover song, was what I kind of got into them. But that's basically how it all started.
All right, yeah, go back. All right, first of all, you are an OG K-pop fan from over 10 years ago, which is incredible. So sticking with it. Two, you have told me this in the past, and now I'm just now remembering it. Everyone, Tiffy is a professional dancer. She dances and has auditioned auditioned to many dance crews in Northern California in the South Bay. So yeah, she will show you everything. I'm sure we can find that clip of the audition tape somewhere of BTS. What was the BTS song that you auditioned to?
It's buried in like the darkest of dark webs. You will never find it. But I danced to Jump.
Wow, that's hype.
It was really hyped.
That's
It
hype.
was great.
Yeah, guys, see, I know BTS. Please, let's be real. No, that is an incredible story. How did that evolve into connecting with other people about K-pop? Because at that point in K-pop in the early 2010s, yes, it was a very much an internet niche interest, but it's not the same as it is today. Definitely. How did you meet other people and kind of grow your fandom?
Yeah, it definitely started out with my friends. I feel like I was always the one that's like, oh, you should check out this video. Oh, you should listen to this. This is like my favorite song. It was kind of more of a trade-off at that time where I would listen to something they really liked and they would vice versa listen to mine. So I would find like little niches of friends that would do that and like kind of build from there. Um, but yeah, I think from there it became a lot easier once you joined like communities like on Instagram or like Tumblr back in the day. And yeah, from there it was pretty easy to make like friends.
Were you able to find any groups when you were in college and you saw social groups, school
Um,
clubs?
col College was a little bit harder because I went to a more predominantly less involved in the K-pop community. So college was more of like downhill for me for my community wise. But I definitely met more online friends. So through more of like social media because that was when it really like kicked off. Definitely like around 2017, 2018, K-pop really took like a big kick off there and then.
Yeah, a big leap forward for K-pop as far as popularity and internet accessibility, right? I think at that point there was just that was the growing portion of YouTube where not only was it music videos, but now you had internet reactors and people kind of talking about K-pop and being really open about it. I think in the 2010s that was when like Asian people were like popping off on YouTube. You can go all the way back to like Huang Fu and Kev Jumba and those like OGs. And I think a lot of that was like the foundation for how K-pop reactors were, kind of grown into it. There's a better way to phrase that, but it kind of grew into that, right? So yeah, the internet. God, we've seen the internet grow from like 2010, haven't we? Jeez.
I know. Just remember like just I vaguely remember like the OG format of YouTube where it's just like I don't even know how to describe it. Just like a very plain YouTube screen, like almost like your internet browser. And I would just be searching up like the randomest videos, but it was just our form of entertainment back then.
Yeah. Shout out to Girls' Generation. Make you feel the heat. That's it, right there,
Girls
guys.
bring the boys out.
We bring the boys out. All right, we're good. This is not a SM Girls' Generation show. I swear, I promise. Even though I tend to make it that occasionally, we're gonna talk about BTS now. So they have come back. They have returned with an amazing anthology album titled Proof. I'm going to be quoting Natalie Morin of Rolling Stones. I think she wrote an incredible article kind of summarizing very concisely what this anthology album means to BTS and why it's important that they put this out in celebration of their 9 years as a group. The beginning paragraph reads, Proof, the group's latest release, is its most ambitious yet is its most ambitious. I'm going to start over because words are hard. Here we go. Take two. Proof. The group's latest album is its most ambitious yet, but not necessarily in the way many would expect. Over a 3-volume anthology, BTS not only chronicles their tireless, ultra-successful journey thus far, but also gives listeners an intimate look into the hard work that has gone behind it. Finally, they're letting themselves take a moment to stop and enjoy the view. All right, Tiffy. So kind of hearing those words, what resonated about this? What resonated with you about this album and kind of being a celebration, an anthology of all of their past music with a blend of kind of the new and evolved style that they have today?
I think it's definitely more geared towards trip down memory lane, which is both nostalgic for them as an artist to see how much they've grown and like develop as artists themselves and their discography and their just like general flow, especially with like their achievements, their awards, and how global they've become. But also as fans to see them like on our end too, to see how they've grown and see like how much the community has grown. It's just overall our love for BTS. So yeah, all throughout the whole CDs, you kind of get the feel of like different memorable moments because that's how the CDs were kind of chosen out. So it was definitely kind of seeing those big highlights in their 9 years.
Yeah, I feel like BTS uniquely does a really nice job of storytelling and reflecting about their entire journey with every release, right? I would even go as far as to say Dynamite, Butter, Permission to Dance, and Life Goes On have a very specific message that I'll kind of connect to who they are as artists. Maybe not as obvious and clear because those are so pop-friendly songs, with the exception of Life Goes On. But I think there is a very clear thread of what they're trying to communicate as far as where they've been, all the ups and downs in their careers, and then now that they've made it to a point where they can be accessible to everyone, here, let's reintroduce you all to everything that we're all about. So even like I said, like the most recent songs, even as Western friendly as they are, it's very important. It's an important emotional touch point for them because it's the sign that it shows that they made it. You know, they've broken into, here, the United States, into the living rooms of people in the Midwest and other parts of the United States that would never have heard of K-pop before. So I think it's a big accomplishment and definitely something to be celebrated with this album. All right, let's get into the title track, the music video that they released. It's titled Yet to Come, The Most Beautiful Moment. Tiffy, you see these gentlemen, these all white, decked out suits in the desert. What are the feelings that it evoked out of you? What did you feel seeing them so angelic out in the desert?
Um, it definitely gave me a strike of contrast because originally when the teasers first came out, I wasn't really knowing what to expect. They had a song about C, which was a hidden track in one of their older albums. and there was a lot of speculations about it being a homage to that, which I thought was really cool. But I think the desert has a lot of symbolism in itself, kind of being its own kind of barren self. So having all those vivid imagery coming up in the music video and in the song shows how much they were symbolizing that.
So let's go through some of the imagery now. I think the one that was most striking to me, that was most memorable, is Suga, shooting guard. I will always call him that. Ha ha ha. So his motif is somewhat of an oasis, where there's a garden growing out of a piano, kind of in the center as he's rapping. I think Suga's part is my favorite rap section of the entire song. But what did that kind of make you think about, as far as the symbolism for where they are in their career, kind of growing into who they are?
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point about the oasis. I feel like the idea of an oasis is kind of imaginary and kind of fictional. So when you think of an oasis and like the vivid imagery that kind of fits into that, it kind of has more of like a double-edged sword to it. It's like maybe where they are is like kind of fictional and like people are imagining it or they can't really accept that this is where they are as artists, but also like something that they want to dream about and like also be in and like achieve. So it's more of like the two edges towards it. And yeah.
No, that's a great contrast, right? Right, a great duality the kids like to use, but in a more serious, a literary way to think about it is the illusion of wealth and success, right? And what does that mean if you get lost only chasing the idea of it as opposed to making it a reality? No, that's incredible, Tiffy. You nailed it. You killed it. Was there any other images that really stood out to you that were striking, that had that really stuck in your mind? Because I forgot a couple, but I want to see what you got. What came out? What came to you?
There's a lot that was going on in the music video. I'm not gonna lie. I had to search some stuff up just to make sure I wasn't missing any clues. Definitely them with the bus at the end was a very big striking contrast because in their debut music video, they were on a bus and they were getting into a bus and now they're getting off a bus. So that was a really big like contrast of like, oh, this is where they are now and seeing like how much they've grown. There's other ones where they paid homage to some of their like really big music videos, such as like Spring Day. They had I don't know what it is called, the carousel, the little spinning thing.
Right, it's a carousel, right?
I think it's a carousel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm like doubting it. So I'm pretty sure it's a carousel. Yes, go ahead. You know what it is, people. If you know the music video, you know what it is.
If you don't, go watch it.
It's just a word. It's a word's a thing. But yes, the thing.
So that was a really big homage too. And then they're actually like the flowers that they used were the Smeraldo flowers, which is kind of a fictional flower that they've created in their universe that kind of goes into one of their songs, The Truth Untold. So it's a part of how reality isn't always true. There's no way to really define reality. So it ties back to the Oasis theme and how they're kind of blooming into this like really dreamlike land.
It's fire. God, true fan over here. Man, do you want to take over? Do you want to host this show? Feel free. That's all amazing stuff. All right, so a couple of the other images that really popped out to me is so there's two kind of going back and forth between RM and J-Hope. RM is rapping in front of a storage unit, and then J-Hope is rapping, and then his background is a broken down train. I did not do any prior research. I'm just trying to interpret the music video as I know it. But now hearing that you have so much BTS knowledge, is there any significance to the storage unit for RM and the train for J-Hope?
So the storage unit is the same storage unit as their music video in Run. It has the same numbers. So Run was a really big kind of kickoff. Run was, I believe, in part 2 of HYYH. So that's when they really, their popularity really soared. So it was a homage to that. And yeah. In terms of the train, I can't remember on the top of my head. You got me there.
That's okay. Someone will correct us in the comment section as they will always do, and that is totally fine. Internet, hello, hi. Well, there's a few more. So and I apologize if I don't get to every single member. I'm just trying to recall the ones that really stood out to me and take note of the ones that I really wanted to notice. The outfits I feel like had a lot of symbolism. So kind of take me through it. So we did have V in a suit that almost looked like a uniform. Is there a callback to a song or music video? I can think of one, but I could be wrong. To me, it kind of felt like Boy in Love, but I think I'm just kind of reaching there. Was there anything that you drew from kind of that outfit?
I think the music video outfits I didn't prioritize too much. I definitely think like when they released for Fiesta, which is when kind of like in the same line as their album release. Ironically, we're filming on Fiesta Day. So their outfits are all different eras of their careers that they chosen. So
Got it.
I think their outfits did do a lot of like symbolism.
Nice. So we do have a couple of other members. I'm just gonna rapid fire throw them out at you, and then you feel free to go in whatever direction. So to me, it felt like J.K. Jungkook was kind of the perspective character, at least at the start, and near the end when Jin covers his eyes and then reveals the school bus, and then we had Jimin, Jin, and am I missing anyone? I feel like I'm missing someone. Jimin and Jin, they didn't have specific parts that I can remember, but I do recall the back of the truck being pretty important for the group as a whole. So kind of take me through it. Fill in the blanks. What did you think about kind of those elements of the music video?
Um, Honestly, the truck is kind of out there, so I think it's also a tie to their old music videos. It ties in like kind of getting off and getting on the truck itself and being okay with their journey because I know there was a lot of truck scenes in all their music videos back in the day, especially like around 2015, 2016. So I think they were trying to pay homage to that specific year because that was their year that they actually won their first award in 2015.
Nice. And then I do kind of want to wrap it up a little bit here with the school bus. So you did say that that's kind of the starting point for them in their entire career, and then it ends kind of going full circle. In your interpretation, where do you feel like they're going to go from here? As far as sitting on the school bus at the very end, it's not a sense of sadness; it's more of a sense of expectation and excitement, right, for a continuing journey. To me, this song and music video kind of represents the end of a chapter for them, where the story keeps going. Everyone, there's gonna be more to come, yet to come. So, how do you kind of interpret like that overall full circle feeling of that symbol?
Yeah, I think you put it in a really nice tone. I think definitely they're going on to do things that they embody now as almost a decade later. Everyone's musicality and taste in music development for as artists has developed then, like 9 years ago. So them kind of getting off and also sitting on the school bus was kind of a tie to, oh, we still remember our roots and this is still us. But there's more to come. It's yet to come. And while we might not still make the same music as they did 9 years ago, even though I know a lot of fans would want that, they're still BTS and they're still the same people that we started to like from 2013.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about growth and change, right? I think there's a lesson to be had about stagnation, wandering in the desert. really not having a direction. And what does it mean when you do find your purpose, when you do find your end goal, right? It's never necessarily an end goal to completely achieve. It's an end goal to work towards. And I feel like that's what BTS is trying to say here or encompass here between the music video and the song. Kind of going into the technical aspects of the song, what were some of your favorite feelings about the song? To me, it was a very mellow hip hop song, and I'm for this where it's a little bit more introspective. What are your overall thoughts and feelings about how the song plays out for you?
I'm really glad they didn't really go too poppy with it, especially since it was kind of geared towards a homage to their past. So I felt like the vibe that they went for really like hit the message home for a lot of like older fans, but also for as a new fan to like kind of introduce them to like more than just what the Western media kind of portrays them as.
Yeah, a really nice blend, a really nice compromise. Not compromising, but a compromise between kind of the old and the new, right? Where definitely the past 2 years is specifically a Western pop sound. Great success. No one can deny it. Shout out to BTS for doing it, doubling down, and then now being a household name. But I think they also did a great job with this song, blending a lot of the familiar of the past 2 years with them saying like, oh, but this is where we are, like you said, in the roots, right? Being a K-pop group with a heavy hip hop inspiration, in kind of just the right ways with this. I mentioned this earlier, but my favorite parts of the song is the rap line between RM, J-Hope, and Suga. It's striking how much more this stands out than in previous title tracks, right? I would say just Permission to Dance, Butter, and Dynamite didn't have this level of like hip hop influence that was just so apparent. I kind of like it. I kind of feel like I'm drawn back in, right? It's like, oh, okay, cool. We're doing a little bit of the old with a little bit of the brightness of the new, right? Okay, cool. I like this. I like this. And the overall message of the song, right? It's very hopeful looking forward. So fits quite nicely into summertime. So good job, BTS. Giving us a nice little seasonal track here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I kind of missed it. Like I am all for the poppy, like super poppy summer songs, but this kind of just gives a more like homey feel to it, where I can kind of listen to it on repeat. Like it won't catch, like it's not super catchy from the get-go, but it's definitely a repeatable song, so where I can continuously listen to it. And I think it kind of ties into how there was a mention before by JK saying that there's a difference between how different styles of music are produced or like how vocals are introduced into a song. So I think it was a more of a mix of like what they're comfortable with, but also a new side of them. So with Western music, a lot of them sing with their chest voice versus like K-pop typically leans towards ballads and a lot of their like head voice. So it was this song kind of blends the two together. So when you kind of analyze it that way, it seems like a good blend of like where they are as an actual K-pop group, but also like the Western side that they also are embracing.
PhD to Army, Tiffy here. I award you. It is graduation season. You have completed your degree as Army. That was excellent. That was beautiful. No, I think that is really spot on. It didn't occur to me until you had just said it, because I do, just going down the K-pop rabbit hole, you do find yourself on YouTube videos describing the musicality differences between K-pop and Western music. I do remember a lot of the discussion on some of those videos about how vocals are projected, right? And yeah, that was back in the day when I was going through like the OG YouTube, but you just completely like, tied it all into BTS so beautifully, and I think it just makes a lot of sense, right? I think when other folks hear it, they can't not hear it anymore, because I will definitely be looking out for those cues, right, of what that sounds like. Yeah, excellent, amazing. All right, let's kind of go into the details of the anthology album. In disc one, it's a story of their careers through title tracks. What did you think about their choice to give us? It's 15 title tracks, right? I want to say it's
Yes.
15, right? And then the two bookended songs with Born Singer, sampled from J. Cole's Born Sinner. I have a lot of notes, okay? And then we bookend it at the end with Yet to Come. What did you think about that process of them saying all our title tracks with these two songs at the beginning and the end?
Honestly, Born Singer still makes me cry. It's been years. It still makes me cry. It really shows them how much they've grown, and they actually like remastered Born Singer a little bit, so they tweaked a few lines to just fit how they are now, and that slight little difference has make it huge, actually a really big difference in like the song itself. Like we still get that sad, like deep vibes that this is the path that they chose to go with, and we're so incredibly proud of them, but also like that little twist kind of shows how much they have achieved in that 9 years. And it kind of just ties into their main title track.
Yeah, there's a great sense of poetry. I know the idea of explicitly calling something poetry is somewhat of a joke sometimes, but I think it's very pointed. It very much makes sense here, specifically with the construction of disc one, right? And again, it's a great introduction for perhaps newer BTS fans who have just gotten into them due to the pandemic, due to curiosity recently. They just really go over like, here are the title tracks that were on music shows in Korea, that these were the things that we led with, and how they've evolved over time. And I think that's a pretty cool experience. Disc two are handpicked solo and subunit B-sides. I know very little about the deeper discography of BTS. I do want to kind of set it up where, again, I'm going to quote Natalie Morin of Rolling Stones. Check out her article, everyone. It's an incredible read. So she describes each member and their input on this disc. So we have RM with introspection, Suga with self-awareness, J-Hope with vivacity. That's a great word. Jin with warmth, Jimin with emotions, emotiveness, V with contemplation, and Jungkook with ease. So just hearing kind of those descriptions, what are your takeaways from disc two?
Honestly, this too really showed the members' characteristics, and all the words you kind of described kind of fits them, and the reason why they chose the specific songs that they did. It just shows, I think disc one was definitely more of like the hook and sinker for new fans and like old fans to be like, oh, this is BTS. How do we get into this fandom? How do we like, you know, become fans? And then this too was definitely more of just the members themselves and who they are, and encapsulating their personality in the songs that they did choose themselves.
Nice. And then there is a new track on disc two. It's called Run BTS. It's kind of groovy. It's got a guitar, kind of a
Oh my god,
backdrop
it's
to
so
it.
chaotic. It's so catchy.
It's a little wild. It's got a little some hip hop flair into it. All right, tell me, what did you think about this blend of rock music and hip hop for BTS?
I was not expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it though. It was super catchy, and the little like small like especially the bridge with JK and Jimin, so good. On repeat on TikTok forever. Just looping all through my profile. But I think it's a really like not really like a tribute, I want to say, but it definitely shows like how carefree they are when they're recording. I did see some behind the scenes clip of like where certain sounds came from. It's just them kind of messing around in the studios. I think a lot of their really solid, good title tracks, or not even title tracks, but just tracks in general, just come from them just messing around. And it kind of shows how great they are as artists, where they can just produce something and just by messing around, they produce like a great hit. But also like they're just enjoying their jobs and they're genuinely enjoying what they're doing, and they just want to put this out for fans and just have that same feeling.
Yeah. As you were speaking, what comes to mind is jazz music, like live jazz music, right? Where everything is a push and pull and ebb and flow, where it's not necessarily planned. A lot of it's improv. Of course, eventually a song like this will have to be planned and produced, right? But I think the essence of it is the fact that every member is trying to input something a little different, a little chaotic, like you said, and kind of just rolling with it. I will say Suga, his bars are kind of fire. Just like that was like the immediate standout on first listen. I was like, oh, we're doing this. All right, good to see Suga. And it's got a great rhythm throughout the song, right? It kind of carries you through with a lot of energy. Lastly, Run Bulletproof, Run, yeah, you gotta run. That is pretty catchy. It's pretty earwormy. It's in my head, man. I didn't sing it. I just kind of said it. That's a thing. Any other thoughts you have on Run BTS?
I hope it's actually gonna be the opening theme song to Run BTS when it actually makes a comeback.
I mean, what if they do like a music video for this, like a B-side video? I mean, it's kind of
So there
fitting.
is everyone's thinking about it that it might have a music video because the concept trailer when this whole album was teased for this day there was like question marks, and so there is always a chance they could always do a Black Swan where they just drop a music video out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, freaking Map of the Soul 7 had like 10 music videos. Come on, guys, let's be real. No, really fun song, really cool song, I would say. Great surprise, I think. Again, this is them kind of re-exploring old BTS and then saying, hey, new fans, we got this. Let's do this. Listen to this. This is good. All right, let's get on to disc 3, which only appears on the physical version of the album. The description is that it is demo versions of existing BTS tracks and unreleased songs. Tiffy, I'm sure you found a way to listen to them. Tell me about the experience. What was this like, kind of going into almost like a very raw, unedited version of BTS?
It really shows me their thinking process, and I am a little, I don't want to say biased, but I really like demos because they show me how much they've grown within that track of like, or how much they wanted to change to fit their style per se. Especially since a lot of the demos were their solo songs. But I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the demos are kind of more catchy than the actual title, like the actual release. Like DNA by J Hope was so good.
I take your word for it. I have no perspective on this as I have not listened to any of these songs. All I have done is my level of research and trying to read articles and people's articles and Natalie Morin's article on Rolling Stone. I will just keep plugging her because I think she is a fantastic writer. Everyone check her out. God, third time. But yes, really interesting inclusion, especially just for a physical. If you have a CD player, that's where you're gonna have to listen to this. As you can see, Tiffy pointing to her CD player on her wall with the wings hovering above it. True army indeed. All right. We're gonna any final feelings you have for Proof and this anthology experience, this journey for BTS or for you?
Um, it definitely gave me not negative with Flash, but like, I went through the whole 9 years. But then I'm also excited to see their next like releases, what they want to do next. Um, Especially since they've done so much and they're always continuously like stepping it up. I'm just excited to see what they want to are releasing next.
Yeah, and I'm sure this will be accompanied with. Well, it hasn't been announced yet. I'm so out of the loop with everything. A world tour is what I'm trying to get at. Do we have dates? Do we have specifics yet?
There's no specifics yet, but since Hybe usually doesn't like scheduling tours around the same time with like within their groups, if a group has already been announced, so like for example TXT and 17, TXT being in July and 17 being in August, the next closest date for a world tour would be September. So we haven't done until then to save up.
Makes sense though. Okay, nice. I think you've done the BTS math quite nicely. All right. Well, that ends it for our proof discussion. Let us know what you think because this album's got a lot of emotion. It's got even me, a non BTS fan, really curious and willing to do the research. Imagine. All right, we're gonna get into some IRL K-pop discussion. So, like I said, Tiffy and I are IRL friends. We see each other quite frequently. So about 2 weekends ago, we had an entire K-pop day journey. We went to 2 cup sleeve events in San Francisco and a K-pop store. I was dragged to this. Maybe not dragged. I was brought along to this willingly, happily, because I don't have friends. So I was like, oh my gosh, Tiffy's inviting me crazy. I get to go with a famous person. All right, so it was Saturday. Let's first tell everyone how it came to be. Would you like to start?
I don't even know where to start. I just said, hey, wanna go hang out? I feel like that's how we usually like impromptu, even though a lot of our other mutuals think that we're just always seeing each other. It's very impromptu.
Essentially, yeah. So I was out on a walk, like I think it was afternoon. I had not eaten lunch yet. I was like, I'm gonna go home and eat lunch. And then I get a call. It's like, hey, where are you? And it's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm like, I'm not home. Let me get home. So I rushed home. I took a shower. All of this within like 30 minutes. And then as I get out of the shower, I see it on my phone. It's like, I'm outside, but it's okay. Take your time. It's like, oh my God, I got to rush out the door. So I get out the door. We hop into Tiffy's car and we head to San Francisco to the K-pop shop. What was the name of the shop?
Sarang Hello.
Sarang Hello. And what did you do there? What exactly did we do there?
Well, Crispy window shopped. I bought stuff. I specifically was kind of gunning for this one album for a few weeks. I was like, please not sell out. I really want this album. So I bought a JB, his first album release, Somofune, just because I went on this like rabbit hole of like trying to research for this company that we both work at. I'm trying to promote to our fellow server members.
You say it. We've got some ties to the Mindset by Dive Studios, Discord server and company, and Tiffy was just doing her due diligence and researching GOT7 as JB released his Mindset collection. There you
go. Exactly. And I just went a little too far with the YouTube videos, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am standing now.
You went deep.
I did.
In a hurry.
The commitment to my role.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, so we went to that K-pop shop. So that K-pop shop is known in circles because a few months ago, you met your friend. You hung out with your really good friend. Do you want? I will tell everyone. So Tiffy, went to San Francisco as she does, and she hung out with Alexa. She went and took pictures with her and talked to her and said, I like your skincare. And then they connected and now they're best friends. Crazy, guys. Yeah.
She's adorable.
Yeah, she's great. Is she shorter than you? She is, right?
She is.
Like significantly shorter than you. Without shoes, right?
Yeah. I feel like I thought it was Cap for like a long time because I was like, I know she's short, but like I'm generally like just barely average height. So it can't be that much of a difference. And I was like, when we were taking the photos together, I was like, should I be like the same level as her? Or should I just stand normally? It was just like a struggle internally. I was like, I don't know what to do.
That's amazing. Yeah. Next time she's in town, definitely let us know and, get to the front of the line because you're best friends. Got it. Okay. Immediately after, we walked across the street and we got Boba. I think the name of the shop is Foam.
Yeah.
Foam Boba in San Francisco. There was a cup sleeve event for Shiny. He's back. Um, what did we do? What did we do there? What did you see, Tiffy?
A lot of teal, which matched their fandom color. I was just excited for boba. I love boba. If you know me, I always get boba. Um, and there was like a little booth with all their merch. There was also like this little game where if you just buy something, you can roll a dice and you can win stuff. Um, Crispy here bought some stuff.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I got food and I rolled the dice. The die. It was a D20. For all my gaming friends out there, in celebration of Onu and dice. I rolled the D20 and I got the best prize, a tote bag with Onu's dice printed on it. So it was fan made merch, but it's a really nice tote bag, guys. It's super nice. I can use it when I go to Trader Joe's. It's awesome. So yeah, we got boba there. And then Tiffy asked me a question. She goes, how much is too much boba in a day? That's her question, right?
no. I started it off with how much boba do you normally get per week or per day? You
I think it
know,
was per day, right? Something like that.
something like that.
And I was
And I
like,
think you're
I just gave a face. I was like, what do you mean? What did you already trying to ask? It's like maybe once a day, maybe 3 times a week. I don't know. So then what was the reason for the question?
so I was kind of beating around the bush because I had another cup sleeve that I kind of wanted to go to, but I was like, I don't know if Crispy is the type to drink like two bobas in a day because I think some people like I know some people who are like, oh no, one boba limit per day, and I'm definitely not like that. If there's a cup sleeve, I'm going kind of a person, so I will stack up the bobas.
Yeah, this is kind of the learning process of this friendship where it's like, I drink boba so much and yet you still question me. It's like maybe
I gotta question you're on the same level as me.
I post on Instagram, right? Are you just like you want to confirm? Is that what it was? It was just like I need
It
to
was
just
slightly
make
that. It was
sure.
slightly that. I was like, I don't want to sound crazy if I asked to go get another boba.
Well, you sounded crazy when you asked the question, but it was totally fine. And then we ended up going to another boba shop. Do you remember the name of that boba shop?
Um, Not on the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember that one for some reason. Although that was a huge like floor
It was
space boba
huge.
shop.
It was like cup of something, cup of tea,
Cup of
cup of
tea.
something,
That sounds
something.
right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. It was about a 5-minute drive away from where we were at, and they were celebrating TXT. Yeah, huge floor space. They actually had booths set up like aisles. It felt like a convention. People were selling fan arts, jewelry, just a number of things. They had a photo booth. Amazing, incredible. What was it like, getting boba there and enjoying TXT for you?
It was great. I almost bought stuff. I almost broke my budget, but it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed the decoration. They really went all out. It was that one was specifically Puma themed, so it was like kind of like cards, like Joker, poker kind of theme. But it was really good.
Yeah, they went all out. It was a huge celebration. That was the week when TXT had just come back with their most recent release. So definitely huge TXT fans. Moas, right?
Mellis.
I know things. I know boy groups. Come on, guys. Yeah, it was super fun. Everyone was so excited to be there. This was where Tiffy Celebrity was definitely front and center. Before we walk in, the first thing someone says to her, like maybe 6 feet away, was like, "Oh my god, I love your outfit." And it's like, "Oh, I'm going to step back and let the celebrity just be a celebrity."
You just left me out.
Bro,
Just tossed me.
I'm like a scrub over here. Just like I was like, I'm just here. She is what everyone is here for. Don't worry about me in the back.
I was thrown off. I was like, do I know you? Sorry, I don't recognize you.
Imagine, right? Celebrity talk, guys. Imagine. Famous people. No, that was really fun. Everyone was super friendly. Everyone was talking about all their concert experiences. I was just eavesdropping, but yeah, everyone has all the concert schedules like memorized in their head, and are just like rattling off dates. XT, good job, guys. Um, yeah, just a lot of fun, just being out in public and doing K-pop thing. Great. And then we head from San Francisco to Oakland for WOOSUNG at the Starline Club. I think it's the
Club.
Starline Club. Yeah, Starline Club in Oakland. Tiffy had VIP because she is a VIP IRL. I am just a pleb. I'm a normal person. So we were in line for a bit. We got there pretty early. And then they separated us. So I was in the back with the plebs. Tiffy all the way up in the VIP section. And then as we started to get in, describe your experience seeing the size of the venue.
Okay, Crispy was still in line when I went in, and I walked in and I was like, oh no, we're gonna be kind of packed. Because I wasn't expecting, when we bought the tickets, I was like, oh, like it's sold out. It can't be that bad. Like it's gonna be full capacity, but the venue seems pretty big. And then when we got there and when I got in, I was like, oh, it's like kind of if anyone has ever been to like a stand-up comedy or like a those types of shows where there's like a bar, it's kind of more of like a bar, an open mic night kind of situation. So it was kind of pretty tiny. So I was like, oh, gonna be ready to be packed like sardines.
Yeah, it was definitely an intimate environment. Like you said, it was more of a lounge with just a stage. And then kind of a small bar, but I think people didn't want to leave their spots in the crowd. So the line was totally chill for me the entire time. All right, so Tiffany gets in, she finds her spot, she gets situated, she's good. I eventually get in. And I make my way to the bar. I make friends with the bartender. Turns out, if you're kind to a person, he will be kind back to you. And one drink, it charged me for one drink, actually poured me like a double every time. Yes, for those who don't drink, that's a lot of alcohol. Let's put it that way. A lot of free alcohol. So shout out to Starline Club in Oakland. And so I try to like find Tiffy kind of in the crowd as people are coming in, and she turns around. We wave to each other, so close yet so far, right?
I'm not even joking that we were so packed. I wanted to move back so I can join Crispy at one point, and I was like, I can't even move back to get out of the front. I'm stuck at the front.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. I actually took a picture of you. I told you to turn around, and then I snapped it. So it's we were really proximity wise close, but you were just so packed with people that there's nowhere to go. You could not get out. Which
I was stuck there.
yeah, which is totally fine. So as the show begins, I just move all the way to the back, and I can see the stage so clearly still. And the show starts. I'm enjoying my beverages. WOOSUNG, incredible music. Take me through it. How'd you feel kind of seeing WOOSUNG come through on the left side, kind of in that alleyway for the artist, and then really getting on stage, singing and making you feel emotions?
Yeah, definitely at first I was like, I can't even see. People are tall. I was like, because the lights were even on him at that point, because I don't think the stage lights could go to the left aisle. So whereas I was like, I can't see. I'm just gonna look through people's phones. Maybe they'll help. It was like little monitors. And then eventually he came on stage, which was great because he just like started singing. It was like oh, vocals.
Yeah, he sounded like the album, like in a good way, like a very natural way, right? God, his music is great. So he essentially played all of his songs from his 3 albums. Most of the songs, I wouldn't say all, but he did play most of the songs from Moth, all 4 songs. It's only 4 songs. All very emotional and just so fun, right? Because he did a lot of pauses and breaks between songs to kind of talk to the crowd and talk to us. I do want to ask about the level of inappropriateness that you were surrounded by. So, what was the language being thrown in WOOSUNG's direction that you could hear next to you?
There was a lot of thirsty comments. um, it's not the worst I've heard, before, but it's definitely like a little bit stranger when you think about like um per se minors doing it. That's what like threw me off because like obviously since we had a bar inside the venue, people had to have a way to know if you're a minor or not. So I could obviously distinguish in the crowd who's a minor. And those were the people who were like projecting. And I was like, I aspire to have that level of courage, but at the same time, wow, that's all I could say. Wow.
People were wilding out around you, for good reason. I mean, his songs were incredible, right? I think it was definitely a memorable experience to hear Dimples and Lazy live. I kind of love
I
those songs. What were your favorite songs that he played?
um I just wanted to hear "I Love You So Bad" just once. That's all I wanted for the whole night, and bless, it was so good. That was definitely one of my favorites. I think he was a really good, like he purposely chose this venue for an intimate space, so he really interacted with all the fans a lot. So he did kind of go off his set list a little bit. I think at one point when he was just kind of like doing little small requests, like little snippets, and that was like really cute.
I did love the little snippets and samples of songs. It was just not the full version, right? Whereas it was without the DJ playing the track, and it was just him kind of on the microphone or with his guitar. Man, cool guy, just so cool, man. Woosung, I am such a fan. I've actually became a fan of his this year, so I went back and listened to just his music. I'm actually not a The Rose fan. I know a couple of the songs that he played from The Rose. I knew of the song that The Rose covered that he played, that he mentioned. Yeah, this song has a lot of views on YouTube. It's not our song. Which is like, I know the story. But yeah, just really cool that he played that song as well. I forgot. Do you remember the title of that one?
I love you, Illy, I think.
Yes, you said that. I am tripping, clearly. But there's a good reason why I don't have that great of a memory of it, and I will discuss so now. So, I like I said, bartender, great guy. I've had one drink. I had two. The heaviest drinks of my life that didn't cost me that much money. While in the back, I made friends with some folks. So shout out to all of you in the back. There were two ladies who just looked up and saw me wilding out and dancing and partying on my own. So you see, if I know an artist, if I know their songs, I will unabashedly sing and dance and just enjoy the moment, right? And I like the back more because I could just do that without worrying about like knocking into people. And then I stood next to like a pillar that had a spot to like put your drink down. So I was hands free. I was good to go. So they became my friends. They were also very drunk. And then there was these two other ladies. They continuously called themselves the Nunas, shouting it so loudly. I hope I'm not. This is with all due respect and just with all much love and compassion for them. And they told me this. They are in their 40s. They have families. They said, but they were living their life. They knew all the songs. They were shouting obscenities at Woosung. Yes, it was wild, and we all became a group of friends who were just a little intoxicated, maybe a lot intoxicated, and yeah. I said they kept asking me like, who are you here with? It's like I told you 20 minutes ago. I'm with a friend and she's up there. So then by the end of it, they kept like asking, where is she? Bring her here. So I went over to find you and said hi to them. And then they said some things to you that I think they kept asking if you liked BTS, just like unprompted. Right.
Yeah.
And then they run cup sleeve events that they really wanted us to be involved in stuff. So, I went down first at the end of the show to get, because we had to be let out, and I hung out with them for a good 15-20 minutes. They kept trying to convince me to go out afterwards, and I was just like, I'm gonna be really responsible and drink a lot of water right now so I don't get hungover tomorrow. But you guys do your thing. They were so drunk. It was crazy. So I'm downstairs. I'm just chilling, waiting at the bar, drinking water, vibing. You were in VIP. Tell me about that experience. What was it like to hang out with Woosung at the end during question and answer?
Yeah, so question and answer was only maybe I want to say like 10, 20 minutes at most. So he didn't answer everyone's question, but he like had his assistant, I want to say, maybe his manager, kind of just choose people who were raising their hands and just ask whichever question. He was super super sweet about it. He did like a favor to one of the fan whose I think sister, sibling, family member who couldn't come because I think she was sick and was like in the hospital, and so they were asking him to like, oh, just say hi and just saying like just a small message to her, and he did it. And it was just like a super genuine message. And I was like, my heart. But yeah, it was like small little laughters here and there. It was more like if you thought the concert was intimate, that Q&A was super super intimate. It was just like we could connect with him. And then after the Q&A, we all left the venue. We had to line up again, and we took group photos, got our merch, and that was it. And I reconvened with Crispy.
Yeah, she texted me, and I was like, I'm on my way. I am good to go. No, that sounds like an incredible time. It's really cool that the image and feeling that Woosung kind of projects in his music, as far as being a very caring person, is very genuine, because that's kind of who he is in real life, right? I mean, between what you just said about him during the VIP section, and then throughout the show, just his interactions with fans, you can kind of tell this is who he is. And it's great that it's wrapped up in all this talent and experience, and kind of just a really cool person, you know?
He is such a powerhouse, but also such a genuine guy.
Yeah, yeah, so awesome. Any last memories you have of Woosung in Oakland?
I just wanted to hear him sing again. Those are really great vocals.
Well, the Rose are coming back together, so we're getting hopefully new the Rose music. If anything, I hope they actually just tour, because I've become a fan, so I will go see them. But yeah, with Woosung, I like this kind of music where it's introspective, but there's a funness to it. Is that a word? With the way he sings, and there's a very clear, like, emotional raspiness to his voice, where you can feel his experiences, right? Yeah, no, I am just a big fan. So thank you for getting my tickets, by the way. You are a true friend.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Tiffy is a true G. I'll just put it that way, guys. All right, let's wrap things up with some closing thoughts. So, K-pop this year has been incredibly busy, but what are you looking forward to for the second half of the year? So we've got summertime, all these concerts, got some new music, maybe, question mark. But just what are you looking forward to for the last half of 2022?
More concerts, definitely. I'm going to TXT and 17 so far. But, you know, ITZY has announced their comeback and their world tour. So, hopefully I'll be there. And then, yeah, just more comebacks.
Yeah, I think for
Maybe
me, KCON. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. So KCON is on KCON LA is on the weekend of August 19. Simultaneously, Head in the Clouds is also there for that Saturday and Sunday. Head in the Clouds is an all-day music festival, literally overlapped with KCON. My question to you is, have you decided between KCON or Head in the Clouds?
You're just throwing the question at me. Have
Putting
you decided?
you on the spot. Are you asking me? I'll answer.
Yeah. Do
I'm
it.
like 95% sure I'm going to Head in the Clouds.
I am 50-50 still.
I mean,
I don't know. They're both such good. Well, okay, KCON doesn't have a lineup yet, but Head in the Clouds lineup is pretty dang good.
yeah. To be fair, Head in the Clouds is an all-day outdoor music festival in August in Los Angeles. Okay, so just the idea of fighting environment and nature and heat, I can understand avoiding that. Where KCON, yes, it is indoors, so a little musty there, but it's in an indoor stadium, and it's only for a few hours in the evening, and then you have the rest of your night to do whatever you want. So I guess as far as the physical toll on your body, or like the mental toll, KCON is probably lighter in that sense, but Head in the Clouds is music all day. So that is also just a consideration. Yeah, I'm about 95%. I haven't bought my ticket to the show yet, but I did buy my plane tickets. So I'm going to be in LA that weekend. And my supervisor, my boss, my lead, she knows, and she's just all about it. She goes, "Oh yeah, totally, be there."
We
Um,
love a supportive boss.
I know. With ITZY, I'm kind of traumatized right now with all the lack of like getting these tickets through Ticketmaster and all these other like large ticketing sites. I kind of hate them. I was fooled when Luna released tickets for the San Francisco show through the venue, which was perfect. It's like, yes, easy, no problem, guys. And then everyone, all the other Luna fans on the server, all the other orbits were like dying across like Ticketmaster and TicketWeb and all those other sites. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And then I remembered, oh, that's the norm. So then ASPA came around and I lost my mind. There are some life events that have actually like crossed paths and prevented me from going to ASPA. They're showcased in LA in 2 weeks. Jeez, man. But I hope for ITZY, it's a little bit more accessible. I already have my plane ticket to LA for the Wednesday for ITZY. So hopefully we get those tickets and we'll go.
Love that positive thinking.
Oh,
We will. The tickets will be secured.
Manifesting.
Manifesting.
Any closing thoughts, words of wisdom you'd like to share with the Soju Talk community?
Stay hydrated. It's summertime.
I was just about to drink my water. Very nice. Yeah, no, it's in the Bay Area. There was a heat wave over the weekend. It was 95 degrees on Friday. It cooled off a little bit throughout the weekend, but it's still quite warm. So yeah, definitely stay hydrated, stay safe, everyone. Find a place to stay cool and enjoy K-pop. Enjoy K-pop outside with real people. Because there's just so much that's happening nowadays. As far as people wanting to be outside, right? I think people have the hunger to just interact and like host something in real life. So definitely just check online in various spaces. You'll come across it. I have all the faith that it'll just happen to a lot of people. It happens very organically, honestly. All right, Tiffy. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
This is great. Literally, this just feels like us like going to get boba and hanging out and just talking about like we do this like this is like normal. This is not even a show anymore for us. This is just like how we talk to each other.
This is how we just converse, and this time we just decide to record it. That's it.
I know, it's kind of funny. All right, signing out. Thank you everyone for listening to the Soju Sessions on the Soju Talk Nation podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and continue the conversation on the Soju Talk K-pop podcast Discord. For Tiffy, I'm Crispy, and this has been the Soju Sessions.